Thank you, Mr. President and members. This is a bill that I want to thank Senator Huffman for all of her hard work and her help on this bill. This was very difficult testimony, a bill that the district attorneys brought to us. Members, you may remember that Senate Bill 62 had quite a ride. And the district attorneys came to us because they have had a difficulty in prosecuting the most difficult, vile animal cruelty cases around. The ones where they're nailing dogs' paws to pieces of board and they're dismembering them, and they're the worst of the worst. And current law does not afford them the tools that they need. And so the DAs came to us and they said, would you please do this? This is one of their priority bills. And an amendment was added in the House. And you know, the amendments that were added in the Senate, we kept those amendments. But an amendment was added in the House. It literally gutted the bill. And so the second amendment that was added in the House, it gave the authority to permit judges to order persons convicted of animal cruelty to take a state-approved online responsible pet course. And this was a House Bill 162 that passed out of both chambers. And so I believe now that if we move to concur with this conference committee report, we will have the bill which will look more like what it did when it left this chamber. And so I want to thank Senator Huffman, Senator Seliger, Saffarini, and all of you who voted for this legislation. I believe that it's important for our district attorneys to have the tools that they need to deal with people. And my friends in law enforcement tell me that these horrific people that are just beyond our belief actually make videos that they put on the internet, and they end up doing other worse things. They end up progressing, graduating, if you will, in terms of their criminal acts. And so, Mr. President, members, I'd like to move to adopt the conference committee report to Senate Bill 762.
Senator Hall, for what purpose?
Ask the author a question and make a statement.
Do you yield?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to yield to my friend, Senator Bob Hall.
Thank you, Senator Mendez, and I want to start by thanking you. Thank you on this piece of legislation. This is a serious issue, and I don't believe there's anyone in either chamber of this legislature who would disagree that the activities you're trying to curtail is disgusting, repulsive, and reprehensible.
Yes,
the
sir.
dismemberment of animals is something that's just hard for anybody to imagine.
Yes, sir.
And however, I do have to agree with my colleagues in the House that creating a penalty for cruelty to animals that exceeds the penalty for killing an unborn human child is problematic.
I don't disagree with you.
And the penalty in this bill is a second-degree penalty for dismembering
Yes, sir.
an animal. The penalty for dismembering an unborn baby is simply a state jail felony, slightly more than a misdemeanor. You remember the discussions we had when we were working on the bill to prohibit dismemberment abortion, but the procedure adopted for tearing a tiny baby apart to remove them from the mother's womb is a very bit as horrific as the actions you're describing here to animals. Both practices demonstrate just how vile some portions of our society have become. Now, I'm going to vote for this bill. I support it, but I would hope that you and the rest of this body would work together in the next session so that we can raise the level of penalties for the same actions on a human as we have for an animal. And again, I thank you for this.
I appreciate, Senator Bob Hall, I appreciate your heartfelt comments, and I know they come from your heart, and I do appreciate them, and I will look forward to come back next session to work with you on this and many other issues that make a difference in Texans' lives.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, sir.
Senator Perry, for what purpose?
Question for the author.
Do you yield?
Absolutely.
Yes. Just want to make sure, and I know there's 2 or 3 bills floating around, and this may be the survivor, but animal husbandry didn't get put back in.
No,
It's
sir.
still exempted.
Yes, sir.
And as far as hunting and those kind of sports activities, I think Moody had tried to slip one in.
No, and not in this bill. All of that stuff that we had, the way we had it when it left is what we left at that point.
Okay,
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate you. Thank you, sir. I'll be
Thank
voting
you.
for it.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Motion is on the conference committee report. Secretary will call the roll.
Betancourt, Birdwell, Buckingham, Burton.
Being 27 ayes, 4 nays, the bill or the conference committee report is adopted.